one of the original homesteads, one of the original farms in Pelham. John Gray, who settled this farm in 1740, was one of the original selectmen in Pelham, and he and his fellow settlers were all Scots-Irish people who'd come over from Northern Ireland about 1620, and they'd originally settled in Worcester. And when they tried to build a Presbyterian church in Worcester, people came by in the night and pulled it down. So they decided they wanted to find another place where they could worship the way they wanted to. And I think that this location, which was really off of all the roads that went, east-west from the eastern part of the state out to the valley, probably they had a sense that maybe people wouldn't bother them very much here. So they set up on this rather poor land, but they were very literate folks. It's really interesting to read some of their old documents. They were very sort of inured by their experience in Northern Ireland to be very anti-government, so that when the revolution came along, they were very much behind it. A lot of soldiers, and then Shays Rebellion also, they were very much behind that because they felt that the government in Boston was turning into sort of a tyrant. So anyway, it's an interesting group of people, and this farm, we think, preserves a landscape artifact from those early settlers. You look out here on the slope, you'll see a lot of terraces, and we have a friend from Northern Ireland who visited us here once, and she actually grew up in a town called Lisburn, which is, Pelham was originally named Lisburn before the English governor in Boston renamed it Pelham. And so she said when she saw it, "Oh, that's a potato field." And we believe that that's what it is.
I thought maybe it was a vineyard.
No, I don't think so. I don't think so. But these old townies that I've spoken with about this field, none of them have ever remembered any agricultural activity that would explain the terracing.
But in Ireland, it does look just like that.
Okay.
The old spud fields, yeah.
Great. Okay. Well,
just like that.
This is So I thought that was very interesting. So when we crafted our conservation restriction, we tried to include that as something that should be preserved.
Hello everyone, John Bodie for Kestrel Community News, and I'm here with Charlie Eisman. He's going to take us on a hike. He's a naturalist, environmental educator, animal tracker, and also a bug tracker. Why bugs?
Well, I'm interested in everything in nature, but there are, only 30 or so kinds of mammals out there to track, and I just got interested in tracking tiny, obscure things that it turns out no one knows anything about. So actually we were just out on a little pre-walk this morning, and I just found some leaf mines that I'm pretty sure no one has found on Mountain Laurel before. So there's plenty to discover right around here.
Great. Well, let's go out and explore.
All right.
Cool.
Little squiggly line here. Each kind of leaf miner has a particular host plant, and it makes a particular style of trail on it. But it's actually an insect larva living inside the leaf. And if you hold them up to the light, you can see more. Oh, let's pass that around. You can see more clearly. But so this is the larva of a moth that's about 2 millimeters long when it's an adult, and it's black with a white kind of silver band across it. The middle of the wing.
They did that.
As a caterpillar, it just ate this trail just as it was moving forward. It just left that black line is just its trail of poop that it's leaving down. This is called the pine tube moth. I forget the genus. It's something like Argyrotania, but the species name is Pina tubana. It's a little caterpillar that ties together pine needles and eats them. It's actually a functional and certified vernal pool that dries up in the summer, but spotted salamanders and wood frogs come and breed there in the spring. Some of them were used in the foundations of buildings that are at Amherst College and other places in the area.
And porcupines live here.
Oh yeah, that pile of rocks over there. Porcupines love to live under ledges and.
Have you found any scat?
Peggy was saying that you can sometimes see scat pouring out of those rocks there. If people are interested, we could go see if we can find any. It seems like this wintergreen has something going on, but it could... Oh! These are katydid eggs that were inserted in the edge of a wintergreen leaf.
Katydid eggs, not hurting your eyes?
Oh, wow.
It just looked like this little leaf mine in the wintergreen, but I peeled it open to see what it was. The leaf, they make these are probably the biggest insect eggs there are.
There's some in there?
Yeah, I mean they've probably hatched already, but they're they insert their eggs in the edges of leaves.
And so they're not specialists on...
So the eggs are...
No, they just any kind of leaf. I've never seen them in a wintergreen leaf. There's a moth called the maple leaf cutter, which sometimes falls down and lands on other things like oak leaves. But they, in this case, but they cut out this circle and they flip it over and they hide under that. They stitch it down with silk to the leaf and then they eat in a circle, and that's why there are these little rings on the leaf, because it's just munching on the surface of the leaf that's covered up with its circle.
So they move the cover after they finish at
Yeah,
one
and
place?
they start out with a smaller one, and then as they're growing, they flip it over and they'll make a bigger cut, and that's why there's
So
this.
they might have started here and what
Yeah.
you say?
But the reason it's a ring shape is that the previous circle, I mean, it's kind of like a turtle shell. So there's this thing that they're on top of and they're feeding around the edge of it, and they have a bigger circle covering themselves, and they'll just keep flipping that back and forth. And then in the fall you just see all these circles raining down from the sugar maples. But
I've never seen that.
in Vermont, where there are more sugar maples, that is where I've really seen it just filling the forest. I mean, all of the sugar maple leaves look like Swiss cheese. But then we've found, just this year on Nantucket, where there are 0 sugar maples, we've found these on huckleberry and blueberry and birch and a few other things, which is kind of bizarre. But
So I'm here with Peggy Hepler, who conserved her land. How many acres is
It's
it?
about 40 acres.
Wow, 40 acres. Why did you put it into conservation restriction?
Well, it's a beautiful piece of property. Loved living here. It's historic. It just sustains us. It's beautiful, and we couldn't imagine having a development take place here.
Wow. Well, that's really great. That's a whole lot of cool. So everybody, hope you enjoyed the video, and we'll see you out on the trail. But remember, wear really colorful clothing because it's hunting season. Okay? Take care.